Hey guys, Dustin Miller, PPC Pros. This is part 4 of our family case study that we're doing here, how we increase their leads by 300%, cut their cost per lead by 70%. So this is a pretty cool lesson, in my opinion, or a pretty cool hack, in my opinion. Something that is similar to the last hack. If you watched the last video, it was about broad keywords. In this case, we're talking about generic or low intent or research related keywords, okay? So there's a very interesting thing about these types of keywords, and I'll explain what we saw for this client. So what you find a lot of times is sometimes you just get traffic that's completely irrelevant. I'm going to show you a little bit of that in a second here. But a lot of times what you get is people who are in the very beginning of the sales process, the education process, they're researching, right? So there is a time and a place to be targeting these people, and I think that there is a good reason to do so, right? They're going to be customers at some point in the future. Now, not everybody's budget allows for that. And in this particular case, this client, I don't think they were benefiting from that necessarily. So we went ahead and made sure we removed some of these low intent keywords. I'm going to explain what low intent keywords are. Basically, we're talking about keywords that relate to any kind of research or that it's just too obscure. So for example, we're going to look at the keyword divorce, the single keyword divorce. If you're a divorce attorney or family attorney, if you just have that one single keyword, doesn't matter what match type it is, except for exact, that would be the only exception here. If it's phrase or broad modified, Google could show your ad for divorce filing fees or divorce laws in that state. Things that, once again, maybe that person is going to need a lawyer. Maybe they do need a lawyer. But at that moment, they're not searching at that moment for a lawyer. So there's a whole brand play you can do there. You can remarket, and there's a whole lot you can do with that. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about increasing leads. We're talking about cutting cost per lead. And this is what we're going to show you right here in this ROI hack. So what I want to do is take your attention to the screen over here, and you'll see that if you look right here, there is the keyword text that we're looking at. There's more than one keyword, but pretty much maybe 3 or 4 of them, they're the same keyword, the single word divorce, got all the traffic. So that's what we're seeing here under these total filtered keywords. And so that's just all the statistics for all of the keywords that are the one word divorce combined over the period of time that we're looking. So you can see we got 119 clicks. We spent $1,500 on those clicks, and we only got 2 conversions. In the PDF case study, which you can download below this video, there's a link to it. There's actually 3 conversions, so it's a slightly different date range, so don't get confused if you saw that already in the PDF. But basically, between 2 or 3 conversions, it doesn't matter if we spent more money, but it was about, we're talking almost $800 per lead here. And even if you add another conversion in there, you're still looking at $550 per lead. The average in this account right now is between the $50 and $60 range, not necessarily for divorce-related keywords, but just in general as a whole. So when you're spending, when you're getting leads at $55, $60, some cases like I showed you on the last video, we're getting child custody cases, leads at $12, right? It varies. But when you see $550 or $793 per lead, you know something is dramatically wrong. So this is what you got to look out for. Let me show you some of the search terms that these keywords produced because they are single word keywords. So just give me 1 second and I'll pop that up. Let me just select a few of these here. I'll do the top 3, and then I will click on the search terms, and just give me a second to blur out some of the stuff for the client. 1 second. Okay. So here we are. We have the single word divorce, and phrase match, broad modified, doesn't matter. You can see the #1 keyword by impressions. What does the Bible say about divorce? I'm all for the Bible. I love the Bible. But if you're looking for, a divorce, somebody looking at what the Bible says about divorce is probably not wanting to get divorced. It's my personal opinion being a Christian. But reality is they're not actively looking for a divorce attorney at the moment, right? We have Joel Osteen divorce, okay? I guess he got divorced. We've got some good keywords, divorce attorneys in this city, right? So those are okay. And here's request to have maiden name back in divorce. That's, I guess, somebody looking to negotiate a divorce. Maybe they're a good person. Once again, we have somebody's name with the word divorce, just a single word divorce. Again, the 120 waiting period would be waived for divorce. I mean, there's some questions, mostly research related, right? And a few that are looking for a divorce attorney, right? So those few are good, but what are you paying for to get those few? You can easily do that with the word of divorce attorneys, right? So this is what happens. Now I want to talk about what you can do as far as how to identify these in your account and what you can do with them. So reality is, when it comes to finding these keywords, a lot of times you can look at single word keywords. If it's a single word keyword or a single word keyword with the location, right? So let's say instead of just the word divorce, it was divorce Miami, right? Because maybe there's some reason why they're looking for the laws, or maybe it's divorce Florida. They're looking for the state laws on divorce. In those cases, you usually run into this issue. So you want to make sure you look at one word keywords in your account. The other way you can do it is look for keywords that have a really low click-through rate. A lot of times, I'm not going to say every time, a lot of times you will find that these keywords have very low click-through rates. Let me actually go back to the keywords we were just looking at. Okay, and you can see right here, this is a 0.90 click-through rate. That's pretty low. Some of these other ones are, 1.5, which honestly, still pretty low. So I've seen worse and I've seen much better. But the point of it is you can look for keywords that have low click-through rate. Another one is they usually have a ton of impressions. So in a normal account that's, set up well, performing well, you might see that you've got keywords that have hundreds of impressions a month. But then you might see keywords like in this particular case that have 2,900 keywords over the course of a period of time. And that seems a little off. If your average keyword is getting a few hundred impressions a month and you've got a few that are getting thousands, why is that? Well, usually there's a lot more traffic. If we're looking at research, low intent, generic keywords, that's what happens. There's a lot more traffic for them because you're not getting the specificity you want with somebody looking for your service. And typically there's less people that are that far down the funnel. So that's a few ways you could look for it. Basically, look at your search terms report. That's what we just did when we selected some keywords and we, like we did right here. If I just chose that keyword and hit search terms, then once again, you can see what searches are actually showing up for that keyword, and you can determine whether or not it needs to be weeded out. Maybe you're getting conversions out of it. Like in this case, they did get a few leads, but it was really expensive. In this case, we got rid of them. But if it was maybe 2 times as expensive as you want to pay for a lead, try lowering the bid on the keyword. If you think you can squeeze some life out of it, or add more negative keywords around it, if there's some really bad keywords that are causing an issue. So that's some things you can do. But generally, if you're doing your own campaign, you're not an expert, then you probably don't want these keywords in the campaign at all. If you have an agency running your account and they're going after keywords like this, that's really not something they should be doing either. It's not probably helping you. If you have a plan, if your plan is to try to do some type of content marketing, and that's why you're doing this, like a download, an ebook, that might make sense. If you're trying to put like a video series together that is not direct response, right? They're not going to call you at that moment, but you're trying to become that influencer for them further down the line, it might make sense. But don't confuse that with going after leads and getting them to call you at that moment for those types of content. They could, but that's usually not the game plan. So we'll talk more about that in the future. But for now, hopefully tip number 4 helps you. I will see you for ROI hack number 5 in the next video, and probably another day or so. So thanks for watching.